Page 32, Cockles and Mussels. This piece is in a lot of method books. It's a very nice melody. On the left side of the page in that blue box, they give you that really ugly looking stuff and you're thinking, oh my God, I gotta know all that? And the answer is no. I mean, it looks really impressive. But the point is, as long as you understand triads and how they're built, you can figure them out. You don't need to memorize this stuff. All they're doing is they're taking the letters, 7 letters we use, A through G, the letters in the musical alphabet, A through G, and they're building a triad on each letter, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I already went through this in the previous lesson with the key of C major, G major. You gotta stay within the key. Here, apparently, we're in C major. Okay, that's fine. And that's it. I mean, that's all the triads you can have. There are variations when you get into the black keys and so forth. We're just interested in the basic triad is every other note in the key that you're in. Yeah, and that's all. Just, they say vocabulary, that's all sounding real. Oh boy, this is it. Let's talk this mussels thing. I look it over and it's sort of 1.5 pages long, except one page isn't cut this way, it's cut this way. Treble bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature. We are in the key of C major. So if you look at the end, look at the last measure on bottom page 33, you see the notes are here, sort of. Well, those are 2 of the notes in a C chord. We didn't do the G. You don't actually have to have all 3 notes. The point is it is a C chord, a 1 chord in the key of C. A lot of pieces will end on their 1 chord. Or in the key of C, it would end on a C chord. So we sort of need to get in the habit of kind of checking these things because it's going to matter here before long. So, I mean, you can't just say, well, the key signature says it's C major, so it is. That's not true because there are other key signatures with no sharps or flats, and that's the problem. Then you got to look further into it, and I always look at the end of the piece first because most pieces end on their 1 chord or their main chord. And it ends on a C chord, so it's key of C. It's a way of double checking it. 3/4 time signature, it has a pickup beat. Right hand first, let's see what we got. We got a dotted rhythm, and hopefully you understand those. 1 and 2 and 3. Remember, the quarter note comes on beat 1. The dot comes on beat 2 because the quarter note takes up a whole beat. The dot is the same as an 8th note, or half the quarter note. You tie them together. So the next 8th note comes on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3. That's it. Over on page 33 at the end of the 2nd line, there's a note above the staff, both hands A, B, A. So when you get to the 3rd line here, the right hand instead of here, you're up here. Same idea there. Okay. Now left hand, let's see what it's doing. You're here. And the 1 they give you on the pickup beat is the only finger number you need. You don't need those other, don't read finger numbers here. And all 3 of those notes are tied. Remember, in a chord or any chord, if they want to tie them, they have to put a curved line for every note because you don't have to tie every note. I could play other notes, some of these notes more than once, while holding down the other notes. So every note has to have its own curved line, and you see all 3 of those. And then you get 1 beat rest, you come up 1. 1 beat rest, you come up 1. Looks like we're doing triads up the scale here. When you're going from, this is page 32, 3rd line down, you're here. And then you go to the next line, there's no rest there, you just gotta come up. That's it, just lift up and move. Can't connect them, that's fine, just lift up and move. You just don't get a whole beat rest like you do with the rest of it. That's all, just up and move, that's fine. Eventually, you want to get to where you can actually do that without even looking at the keyboard. You feel this. Bottom of page 32, you're here, and then the thumb. It's a repeated note. And we change hand positions on repeated notes. So it's thumb. This way we're ready to go on and do it again. Page 33, 2nd line, last 2 measures. We're here. It's an F and an A, and then here, and then here. We're using them all, just two at a time, sort of. 1, 2, and then thumb. But remember, there's an 8VA above the staff there, so instead of here, now you got to come up here. So you're coming from here to here. It's a phrase. You're lifting up like taking a breath. And now you're here for the last couple of lines. And then in the last two measures, you're up here. It's an F and an A, but you're up here. So you're here. We had the same notes we had on the second line, but we're up here. And that last note, 2 lines below the staff on bass clef, that's a C here, except there's an 8VA above it, so you're here. The dashed line on the 8VA ended at the half. Actually, it should go all the way to the end of the measure because that is also 8VA. Technically speaking, the way it's written, that would not be 8VA because the 8VA ends when the dashed line ends, and that is after it. So in my opinion, that's an error in the music. The dashed line for the 8VA should go all the way to the end of the measure, so that last note is also 8VA. Here, so here. Put the hands together and let's see what we get. We're here. Well, the left hand's tied. Lift up, so that's by itself, but you got to move anyway. The idea? Now on page 33, at the end of the second line, you're here. And then you got to lift up and go up. We'll get the right hand out of the way. The left hand plays first, and as it's playing it, then you get your right hand where it goes. So then you're ready to go on. So 1, 2, 3. Like so. And the last two measures, you're here. And the fermatas, you hang on to those for a while, whatever feels right. If I do it with a metronome, I'll hold the quarter note 2 counts. See the top note? That's a fermata. You don't know how long to hold it. It's the lesser of the notes, the smaller note that guides it. And in this case, it's a quarter note, this. The hold is there, 1, 2. The first beat is not held, but it looks like it's held because the fermata in the upper staff, no. That fermata is for that staff. I mean, once you hold that, you can hold it down. The bottom staff, there's no fermata on the quarter note first one, so it's just 1 count. 1, 2. Then you hold, and then both hands come up together. That's how fermata. It gets a little tricky when you got fermatas and there are different rhythms and so forth, and you got to figure out which beat is held now and what's going on. Yeah, you figure it out. Now let's put the hands together. Then I'll go through carefully and get rid of any hesitations. And once I've done that, I add the articulation. This is very connected. You have phrasing in the right hand. It's a little bit hard to do here because I want to connect this. That's all melody. I can't connect it because I got to lift up because I got to play it again. It's a bummer. And the arrangement is written that way. I don't have a choice. Actually, I do have a choice. I can, if I want to connect it, I will tie the quarter note G to the chord, to the G at the next chord. I'll just add these notes to it. Because then if it's tied, I can connect it. It's one way of doing it. I'll go ahead and play it the way it's written, which means I can't tie it, but if I were going to actually perform it, I would tie that. Now at the end of that line, lift up, lift both hands up. It's a phrase. Lift up. Same thing here, I tie that. So I'm putting in the phrasing. Then once the articulation is in, I add the dynamics. MF, they give you a P at the below the staff there. You don't need that. The MF is what you're after. That's the melody. There. Everything else is in the background. So this is MF, the soft. So it's MF, soft. I don't see any other dynamics until we get to page 33, third line down. There's a P at the end of the second line, actually, up here. A P, soft. You don't need the PP. You do that automatically. The P is what you're after. It's very... And then at the end, last line, they have the arrow to get softer down to PP. I don't know about that. In my opinion, it would be more effective because there isn't much difference between soft and very soft. If you came up to sort of soft and then went down to very soft, you got more room. So maybe in the last line, maybe you go to sort of soft there. So in the third line, I'm soft. Now go to sort of soft. And now you can go sort of soft, soft, very soft, super soft here. Because in the last measure, when I do this, I want to hear this. And that's very soft. Don't drown it out. That's my opinion of the dynamics. I mean, you don't have to do the first 5 lines or so at exactly medium loud. Feel them. I mean, you're in that area, but you can get a little louder and softer if you feel it that way. Remember the natural accents? 1, 2, 3, 1. To, here, to. Feel the natural accents on here too. Now the speed on Dante, it's a gentle stroll. There's a retardando in the last line on page 33. Remember, that means gradually slow down. So you're 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Don't get too slow too soon because otherwise it'll just drag. Oh. Show pedal at the very end. I disagree. I would not add pedal there. It is handy in this case because now you can keep these notes and play that note and you can hear them all at the same time. The problem is it adds the overtones. It does that. It adds all these overtones, and all the rest of it was clean. I don't want to add overtones at the end of this, so I would not use pedal on this piece at all. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not doing dynamics. We're not doing louds and softs. We're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms. I'll give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. Ready? Go.